Hey people, it's Jason. I know, it's a surprise. It's a surprise to you, it's a surprise to me. I wake up every day, still just Jason. Ugh. I know. So, if love is a battlefield and battlefields are par for the course in a war, and as we all know, war, good God, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. So knowing these things of love that we were all taught in elementary school, is love even worth it? Can we balance the ecstasy of love's highs alongside the crushing defeats at the hands of an enemy on the field of the aforementioned love trenches? Well, I suppose it all depends on the fortitude of one's constitution. Also on that exact same one's ability to find the lesson in every previous defeat. Also, just how fucking tired of jacking off you are. Anyone can be willing to take the plunge into the deep unknown of a new fling, but I believe it takes a certain, insanity to throw your cards on the table and say, "Fuck this, sir! I believe this right here shall be my life now." How else could we allow what only has to be a chemical imbalance to so effortlessly change the intended path of our future's history? I say, fuck it, go for it. You only live once. Don't just wait around ankle deep. Hold your nose, clench your cheeks, and do your best impersonation of the fat kid from the Sandlot screaming about and doing as sweet of a fucking cannonball as you can. I say all this because there are those out there that haven't got the choices you have. The same way your mother made you fat by telling you to finish the whole bowl of lobster bisque nestled betwixt your ample young boy bosom because there were much less fortunate children out there that would kill for such a thing. I mean, like, literally fucking kill. They have poor fuckers like 18th century, and to be frank and truthful, every century before and likely many after, royalty that were married away at 14 and 15. Read a fucking book, people. This is our history. So diddle all the love that you can whilst you're able. Because there are poor, super rich, God-become men out there forced into loveless marriages, which then in turn forces them into lurid love affairs with lowly ladies of the common caste, only to produce scandal and bastards who'll know naught but hateful glances while learning every word and phrase for, "Your mother's a dirty whore." Those poor royals. Don't you feel bad for not taking life by the horns and fucking in that gross downtown punk club bathroom that one time now? Don't you? You prick.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive, and the world turning inside out and floating around in ecstasy. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me. Having a good time, having a good time. Bright shooting star dancing through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by.
Hey! It's us again.
So it is.
How does that keep happening?
Well, because the download number keeps going up, I guess.
Oh man, it's just my ego was huge to begin with. Now, you people stroke so good.
This stroke's so good. It's glitchy.
Hey, Sweden.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier today. That's pretty slick. And you know what, too? It's like only a couple episodes after we mentioned the black metal shit. So, yeah. Hey, Sweden.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, welcome to another episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
UFOs, conspiracies, dog barks, and murders.
That's right. You guys are going to get to hear my wonderful 16-year-old dog, Sabbath, barking his ass off because he's angry at me because I've got pussy in the room.
You do. You do foreign pussy at that. You know?
It's a cat, people. Yeah, it's a cat.
I was about to make a full Bush joke, but you've ruined it.
Yeah, I know you were. That's why I stopped it. So,
Fine.
my name is
cool
Jason.
Pussy. Anyway.
Oh,
Continue.
Yep, that's me. My name is Jason My name is Jason Rambo.
Oh, yes. I'm Chris Barrios, as per usual. And,
Yeah.
I
You
prefer
guys just,
mine bald. All my tacos.
that's because you are a pedophile.
Don't get me wrong, I don't discriminate, but I prefer not to have to eat around an entire pack of wolves.
I just don't like getting hair in my teeth.
You know, I mean, you make do if you gotta make do, but if I have a preference.
So, Chris,
Yes.
do you want to know what
Good
today's
sir.
episode's about?
You know I do, girl.
Okay, I told you that it's in France, right?
You mentioned it, and I've had a fucking wacky week and weekend. Well, the week just started really for us, but today was garbage.
Yeah, we've both had just a weird couple days.
Really, really weird. And
We're not going to get
shitty.
into any of it really, because then we'll just talk about that forever.
Yeah,
So,
no, let's not.
so let me just go ahead with, to celebrate the wedding of, let's see, how do we say this? Dauphin Louis to the young Archduchess Marie Antoinette.
Oh.
A firework display was given on the Place de la Concorde. Unfortunately, it ended in tragedy.
Tragedy, you say?
We are talking about the worst fireworks accident in history.
What?
The one that conservatively ended the lives of over 300 French
Holy shit.
people, and unconservatively nearing more 3,000.
Whoa. I did not hear about this. I'm intrigued.
All at the wedding celebration of Marie Antoinette.
Holy shit. Wow.
So,
this is definitely something they do not teach you in school.
no, I never heard about this. This is crazy. It's crazy. And, terrible, but kind of funny in like a ha-ha kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wanted to start the show by reading, it's a little excerpt from a biography of Marie Antoinette by a guy named Charles Duke Young. And he recalls the accident and how the royal couple tried to help the victims. So, little as was the goodwill which subsided between Louis XV and the Parisians, the civic authorities thought their own credit at stake in doing appropriate honor to an occasion so important as the marriage of the heir to the monarchy, and on the 30th of May they closed a succession of balls and banquets by a display of fireworks, in which the ingenuity of the most celebrated artists had been exhausted to outshine all previous displays of the sort. 3 sides of the Palace de Louis XV were filled up with pyramids and colonnades. Here, Dauphin darted out many colored flames from their ever-open mouths. Dolphins, sorry, it's spelled the same fucking way. Ugh. There, rivers of fire poured forth cascades spangled with all the variegated brilliancy
Yeah, okay.
with which the chemist's art can embellish the work of the pyrotechnist. The center was occupied with a gorgeous temple of Hymen, that sounds like fun, right?
That's gross.
Which seemed to lean for support on the well-known statue of the king, in front of which it was constructed.
I used to
And
go
which
to high
was-
school with a girl whose last name was Hyman, and yeah, she was really nice, but it took everything I had every day.
And that just proves that you're just a good person, Chris.
Yeah,
that
I tried.
you couldn't let it get to you.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it just by looking at me. And with
It's
first
just
glance.
smoke coming out of your ears and like, oh, it's just, you wanted to.
I
So
really
bad.
did. I really did.
I know the feeling.
Right on her
So-
forehead.
So this temple of Hymen was leaning for support on the well-known statue of the king, in front of which it was constructed, and which was, as it were, to be carried up to the skies above by 3,000 rockets and fireballs into which it was intended to dissolve.
Holy
The
crap.
whole square was packed with spectators, the pedestrians in front, the carriages in the rear, when one of the explosions set fire to a portion of the platforms on which the different figures had been constructed, At first, the increase of the blaze was regarded only as an ingenious surprise on the part of the artist, but soon it became clear that the conflagration was undesigned and real. Panic succeeded to delight.
Wow.
And the terror-stricken crowd, seeing themselves surrounded with flames, began to make frantic efforts to escape from the danger. But there was only one side of the square unclosed, and that was blocked up by carriages. The uproar and the glare made the horses unmanageable, and in a few moments the whole mass, human beings and animals, was mingled in helpless confusion, making flight impossible by their very eagerness to fly, and trampling one another underfoot in bewildered misery. Of those who did succeed in extricating themselves from the square, half made their way to the road which runs along the bank of the river, and found that they had only exchanged one danger for another, which, though of an opposite character, was equally destructive. Still overwhelmed with terror, though, the first peril was over. The fugitives pushed one another into the stream, in which great numbers were drowned. The number of the killed could never be accurately ascertained, but no calculation estimated the number of those who perished at less than 600.
Wow.
While those who were grievously injured were at least as many more. The Dauphin and Dauphiness were deeply shocked by a disaster so painful at variance with their own happiness, which, in one sense, had caused it. Their first thought was, as far as they might be able to mitigate it. Most of the victims were of the poorer class, the grief of whose surviving relatives was, in many instances, aggravated by the loss of the means of livelihood which the laborers of those who had been cut off had hitherto supplied. And to give temporary succor to this distress, the Dauphin and Dauphiness at once drew out from their royal treasury the sums allowed to them for their private expenses for the month, and sent the money to the municipal authorities to be applied to the relief of the sufferers.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
But Marie Antoinette did more. She felt that to give money was only but cold benevolence, and she made personal visits to many of the families which had been most grievously affected, showing the sincerity of her sympathy by the touching kindness of her language, and by the tears which she mingled with those of the widow and the orphan. So, that is the basis of our story today, is how did this, what's supposed to be this jubilant celebration for these two very young new bride and husband,
Seriously.
how it all went so goddamn wrong. And as you heard, like at the beginning, I said, some say it was 3 something, and some say it was 3,000 something, and what I just read said that it was probably 600 something, and even more. So it's a mess. It is a mess.
Sounded pretty gruesome. Tramplings and
tramplings and drownings and being burned alive, suffocation. Oh, God damn it. It was so bad, Chris.
that
It was
sounds
so
awful.
bad. But
But possibly a lovely thing as well because of all the fireworks going off.
oh yeah,
you know,
no,
I
if you
imagine-
were standing far enough away,
I
it's
imagine
just
it was quite
oof.
a spectacle.
And now, one the Atlas Obscura page on this story has a print of a picture of that night, and oh man, it just looks like one of those columned hotels downtown here, just engulfed in spark and flame, and people in red and blue coats just staring from the other side of a river, and it's ominous, man. Ugh. Hee. So, our story begins on May 30th, 1770. Chris, you're the
Yes,
math
sir.
whiz. How long ago was that?
Let's see. 230, 247?
247 years ago. That, that's a long time, right?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's more than 6, so a lot can happen
Okay, good.
in that time.
Good. Yeah, like Like, people are still injured en masse by fireworks every year. So, lots have changed. But the thing about this, certain fireworks accident is most of the injuries and deaths, they weren't caused by fire or direct injuries from the fireworks. Like, some were, but most people crushed. Most people were crushed.
That's awful.
Yeah, this, what's his name here? This author, Henry Sutherland, wrote a history of Paris in 1893, and he says about it, all was going well when suddenly a gust of wind blew down among the crowd some rockets only partially exploded. Fireworks, like so many inventions of Italian origin, were still, to the masses of the French public, a comparative novelty. And this, together with the positive inconvenience and even danger of a fall of blazing missiles in the midst of thousands of excited and closely packed spectators, was quite enough for an account of the terrible confusion, resulting in many hundreds of fatal accidents, which now ensued.
Ooh.
So, this thing falls, and it's that the Tower of Hymen or whatever that we were laughing about before. That's the catalyst, really. Is one of the rockets that was supposed to, I guess, propel that into, I don't know, orbit.
Right.
Fuck, I don't know. Fell, and just imagine that. It's horse and buggy days.
Just
like
lit everything in its path.
Yeah, the horse and buggy days. You're standing way too close to these explosions that some weird Italian brothers made.
Yeah, because you don't fucking know any better.
Exactly. So when one of these giant explosion tubes falls over and points at you, you're like, ooh, what a show.
Let me open my mouth and get ready.
That's right. There's ice cream in these, right? That's what this is?
Holy shit.
This is the ice cream social. This is the right day for the ice cream social?
No. See, I don't know that I trusted if the Chinese didn't make it, Especially not back then.
Well,
like, they were the inventors. I mean...
They were. That doesn't mean they were any safer with it, I guess.
I didn't say that was the case, but they have been using them for quite a bit longer than the rest of the world.
So as people started freaking out, there was a rush toward the Rue Royale, which is a little tiny narrow street.
Can I just point out real quick how similar to a Death Clock show that sounds?
Right?
Like, that description sounds very, very similar to...
Just like people's melting faces everywhere and drowning, and then like crocodiles come out of the water, and then people are electrocuted trying to climb some fences or something, even though electricity hadn't been invented yet.
See? Yeah. I mean, are there any hallucinogenic drugs in this story?
We can totally say that there are.
Awesome. That's the only thing that can make it better.
So... they're running toward this narrow street, and they're all just running over each other. Now, okay, this is what is fucking insane. Is the official government death toll was listed as 133.
Jeez Louise, that's still a lot.
100, yeah, that's the thing. Is that 133 still makes this the worst fireworks accident in the history of fireworks.
What?
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of Chinese people, and they probably didn't report most things that have
133 happened. Makes it the worst fireworks accident on record.
Like, you don't even put a dent on a Chinese village for knocking off 133.
Okay, well, so does
That sounds really fucked up, but it is just to say that there's a lot of them.
Okay, well, how about this? Gilananis, something like that. New Paris Guide, or Stranger's Companion Through the French Metropolis, which was published in 1839, lists the death toll as 3,000, which is also repeated in the 1917 New International Encyclopedia's entry for Palace de Concorde.
I mean, I don't know if that says, if that's supposed to say that they really have no fucking clue, or if that's supposed to say that some people really did have a lot more information than others. Because from 133 to 3,000, that's a huge gap. You know?
Well, I think some of that much larger number comes from deaths that were caused by but didn't happen the night of kind of deal.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm sure there was a lot of that. Maybe not that much, but who knows. So, so let's talk about the Riguri brothers for a minute here.
Why not?
All of Louis XV's displays, fireworks displays, were created by his official pyrotechnicians, which were the Riguri brothers, who their fireworks company is still in operation today.
Holy shit.
They pioneered most of what we see in modern fireworks displays, which are like unique shapes, and they introduced the quick match fuse to light multiple rockets at once. But they did cause the worst fireworks disaster in history. in terms of death, like, let's be fair, in terms of death, I'm sure it was still quite the sight to behold.
Oh well, if there's another disaster without the deaths, but more like property damage.
Oh, they had that like, was it like a Mexican fireworks factory that blew up like last year or the year before, and it was like an atomic fucking bomb went off?
What?
Dude, you need to see video of that shit. Like,
yes,
the
I
entire
do.
fucking place vaporized in seconds.
Shit.
It blew out car and house windows for miles.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some looking to find video of that, or the actual thing, because I was originally, I don't know why I started thinking, I wonder how many people fireworks killed at once. But then I saw this and I was like, that's something I certainly had never heard of. So yeah. So anyway, these fucking Riguri brothers, they don't seem to have gotten much blame for the tragedy. This book, published in 1854, claims that the Parisians held Armand Jerome Bignon. My last name is French. I'm having problems with these fucking names. My last name is French, and I live in goddamn New Orleans, where every goddamn street is French.
Yeah, make mention of how you said something about, in the first episode, having to pronounce French things.
Oh, man, but, I mean, this is like, these have all kinds of little accent lines above the letters and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Fucking ridiculous.
Anyway, so this dude, Armand Jerome, he was the Prévôt des Marchands de Paris, which is a position akin to a city manager, apparently.
Okay.
So Parisians were like, that dude, he's the one. Fuck him.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him. They blamed him for with the tragedy, basically, which... see, now there's so many numbers here, man. Now it's saying resulted in over 300 deaths. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So,
big numbers. Can imagine the cleanup.
The dude that wrote the biography that claims this, Louis Gabriel Michaud, here's a little English translation of the part about the city manager. The Parisians hardly expected that Bignon would be punished, but they were disgusted to see him in his box at the opera 3 nights after the incident, and some
just appalled.
Yes, some went on to make an anagram of his name, Ibi non rent Demna Giro. I do no good, I do no harm.
Which some clever sons of bitches. hating
too much time on their hands.
Yeah,
they should be cleaning up firework tragedy bodies. Come on now.
I'm trying to picture this too, and I'm like, I've seen it, much like you, our whole damn lives have seen the aftermath of some Mardi Gras, but can you imagine if there were, like, I don't know, let's say a third of those people never went home because they were now fucking
dead in the street,
blown up bloody bodies? Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think of that every single day of my life, Chris. And I smile to myself, and I say, self, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
And people like you.
No, I don't think they do, actually.
Well,
Yeah. No, I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. So, in fact, after the 1770 accident, Riguri discovered that the chemical combinations that would create fireworks of different colors, extending fireworks popularity in Europe and cementing the Riguri's crucial role in development of modern fireworks displays. So, now we are just jumping because, once again, this is my note doing, man. I read through stuff a bunch, and then I pull up the stuff I read and I paraphrase, Well, not paraphrase, I remember things, and then I look for dates, and then I usually say the wrong date for the wrong thing, and then I try to fix it later. I rarely do, though.
Well, it's a good thing we're not claiming to be actual journalists or the creative writer or anything of the sort, because, yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely not. That's, that's about as far as I want to be from anything, because, because then, I don't know, you're held to standards, and you have to have integrity. Who wants to go through all that bullshit?
No. Yeah, no.
It's just...
I'm not doing it.
Look, I found something neat on the internet. I read about it, and now I'm letting you know about it, as best I can.
That's right. The only time I wear a tie, goddammit, is when I'm choking myself while I masturbate in the truck. Otherwise, no, I'm not putting a tie on for you or nobody.
Do you really do that?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay. I mean, not that I have a problem with it. I just, like, I don't see the appeal.
I don't
guess.
either.
Is it like I do know that, hey, this is pretty on point for today, that the French call an orgasm the little death. So I'm wondering if coming closer to the real death helps the little death be better? Maybe?
Weird.
Huh.
Okay. Well, that's a mystery.
No, it's not, Chris. I need you to try that out tonight for me.
Oh, shit.
What?
I'm not going to have the time after we finish this podcast. I'm going to have to go to bed.
Oh, is it like super late or something?
Dude, it's like 11 already.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, look. That's...
it's partially my fault, too. I mean, I'm not,
well, no, that's okay. We can actually, we can make this a quickie, because this was quick and fun, and maybe we'll record, another little kind of episode to put out this week. Make it fun. Make it fun and interesting. I do want to go through, because that is mostly, that's kind of it. These Italian brothers made these fireworks and set them up poorly, and had too many of them.
Set them up poorly. Or they hired dumb fucks to do it.
Well, that is certainly the more likely of the scenarios, because, the French, but, I know, it just makes you sick, doesn't it?
Some fucking tard. Probably.
So, so it was this big, huge celebration, and, that's what people get for, fucking God-worshipping royalty. They're just fucking people with way more money than you'll ever have.
Aren't most of them inbred like a motherfucker, too?
These two were, they were teenagers that were married off to each other, basically, so it was kind of a different deal. But, and let's talk just a little bit about the marriage of Marie Antoinette to the Louis Dauphin.
Wasn't she the one who liked cake and stuff?
That is not... the first time.
That's
the first
what I
time
learned from Bill and Ted's Excellent
Right.
Adventure.
And that is all the history you'll ever need. I mean, I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
But I will say that the whole let them eat cake thing wasn't even written about for the first time for 100 years after. So really, no one knows if she ever actually said that shit. But it's unlikely because she was such an awesome person. But it also, if it was said, it most likely wasn't intended to be taken the way that people take it.
Okay.
Like, not like,
Yeah, that
oh, I'm
happens a
so
lot.
rich and I eat cake all the time. Why don't they just eat all the cake? That's not what she was saying. Anyway.
Well, that seems more likely now after saying how much help that she gave
Oh, she was
people
actually
for blowing up in her backyard.
ridiculously good fucking person. She was the daughter of an Austrian Archduchess, Maria Theresa, and Holy Roman Emperor Francis I.
Holy bejeebers.
Indeed. France hoped that her marriage to Dauphin would strengthen its alliance with Austria, who they fucking hated each other's guts for like a long time. So in 1774, King Louis XV died. Louis and Marie were crowned king and queen. They weren't very good with the financial problems that Louis XV left them. Then the queen fell under, harsh criticism for living in extravagance. And she was just all about Austria still. So, people were like, hey, you're like our queen now and we're French. Maybe, be cool about France and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's like, but have you heard about Austria?
They're a bunch of white pricks. Oh, wait, so are the French.
Right. Yeah.
Shit.
God, we hate Europe so much. Stupid Europes. So the French Revolution happens. Marie and Louis, they didn't listen to the advice of the constitutional monarchists who sought to reform the monarchy. And then by 1791, opposition to them had become so crazy that they were forced to try to escape to Austria. But during the trip, they were apprehended by revolutionary forces in Varennes, France, and carried back to Paris. I like to imagine them curled up in little sacks and just tossed over the shoulder, and just two guys walking down the street whistling, carrying these burlap sacks filled with royalty.
Yeah,
that gives me
sense.
Yeah, it just gives me a warm feeling.
The sack makes sense. You remember, because like we said in the previous episode, you can't drag them by the feet. And now that I'm thinking about it, just for clarification's sake, when you say reform the monarchy, are you referring to just making her do a bunch of squats to get a bigger butt, or are we talking about?
I mean, that's what I imagine. Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what the revolution was about, Chris.
Trying to get her to just cook naked underneath just an apron and stuff.
I mean, she was played by Kirsten Dunst, so
that'd be worth a good breakfast.
Oh man, would it ever?
I'm down. All right.
Wouldn't kick her out of bed for having snaggle teeth. So,
especially if that Bring It On cheerleader outfit is chilling on the floor.
Oh no, man! I need her in her Marie Antoinette do. It's all or nothing with me.
Yeah, those wigs just soften me right up.
It's so good. It just melts. So Louis was forced to accept the Constitution of 1791, which made him just a figurehead. Which means, hey, you don't get to run a country anymore, dick. And he was like, okay.
You fucked it up, dude. You fucked it up.
Oh, they did. But then, this is where it gets juicy. In August of 1792, they were arrested by the let me get this correct, sans-culottes, and imprisoned. And in September, the monarchy was abolished completely.
Sans-culottes sounds like Like a frozen beverage you might find on the boardwalk, or
I think it sounds like really expensive chick pants.
sans culottes. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe so.
And like there's just a really pushy guy that works in the store that's like, have you tried the sans culottes?
Oh my god, I need a pair of culottes so that
No, we go sans culottes.
sans culottes.
Yes. So, the monarchy was abolished, and then in November, evidence of Louis's counter-revolutionary intrigues with Austria and other foreign nations was discovered, and he was put on trial for treason. The following January, Louis was convicted and condemned to death by a by a narrow majority. On January 21st, he walked steadfastly to the guillotine and was executed. Then, 9 months later, Marie Antoinette was convicted of treason by tribunal, and on October 16th, she followed her husband to the guillotine.
But she did have tight buns. So
Super tight buns.
So she had
That's the
that
only
going
thing
for her.
that saved her for as long as it did. Yes.
You know,
Is the buns were grade A.
now, do you think that just by sheer reaction, because you're not generally facing the blade as it's coming down on you, so that it severs the spine first.
Yeah, I don't think you ever were, really. I think that's the intended purpose. Yeah.
That would just be cruel.
Yeah. I mean, but you'd still have to hear that fucking pin pull, and that, even if it just takes fractions of a second for that blade to drop. I mean,
it's terrifying. But what I'm wondering, though, is there some... Do you think that there's a reaction once that blade hits, just before the spine is, like, completely severed, that, like, the butthole, like, tightens up real hard?
No, poop just goes everywhere, like, instantly.
Really?
That's what death is the release of all your everythings. Yeah.
Damn, I figured it'd be, like, the ultimate pucker just before it released.
Oh, no. Unless it, like, I mean, I'm sure you're puckered pretty good real quick.
I don't know why that fascinates me, but...
Because you're a horrible human being that's disgusting and gross.
Don't spread it around.
So, Chris, how'd you like our first little mini episode?
It was very entertaining, and
It was neat learning
educational.
that this shit happened, because, like, I know about Marie Antoinette and fucking Louis Dauphin, but I didn't know that this shit happened at their wedding celebration.
No, and you're the history guy too, so I learned all of this today. All I knew was
Awesome.
her name. I've never gotten into history like that because it was never fun like this is. This shit was fun. I like that. That was a good story, and it's cool to know that one of those companies that's that fucking old is still operating. Just like when you hear, like, you see that, what the hell was that movie? Now You See Me, when they were talking about the oldest magic store.
Oh, yeah.
it's
Like
in
the oldest
China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a movie, though. You know, I mean, you realize that,
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if the oldest fucking fireworks store is still open in China too. I don't know.
yeah,
That
it's
exists,
just like an armless, legless dude sitting on a mat on some street corner.
but-
Buy my fireworks, he says with no teeth. Oh, Jesus.
Brickleberry,
All right,
got
Chris.
Firecracker Joe.
It's getting late for you. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock for me, you fucking puss.
Fucking
So,
Central
but
Time hooker.
this just means that you need to find a neat little quick subject that we can hook on to this episode's week. And you need to find that shit quick.
Yeah, I do, and it's. I would like it to kind of follow some kind of suit, like some kind of weirdness.
Ooh, you should, like, I don't know, find out some more weird shit about, monarchies, or, I mean, fireworks are kind of dead now. Let's, I mean, I'm spitballing here, you know?
All right, I'll think of something interesting.
You just listened to a very cute little episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
UFOs, conspiracies, explosions, and murder.
And tramplings and drownings
Ugh.
and
Blood
scared horses.
everywhere.
Let them eat cake.
And the smell of singed testicle hair.
Oh, so much Parisian testicle hair. Ugh. Oh, it just smelled like burning dogs.
I wonder if they lit up faster too from wearing all that fucking perfume.
Oh, I'm sure that's just alcohol. It's just smelly alcohol, man. Just goddamn wicker men. All right, Chris, you have a beautiful night's sleep, and I will talk to you in the AM, sir.
Thank you, good sir.
You ready for countdown?
Time.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
He's been Chris, and I've been Jason. And next week we'll switch, and I'll be Chris, and he'll be Jason.
Oh, that'll be fun. I don't think I can write the opening column, though. I'm terrible.
That's okay. I wouldn't let you anyway. 3, 2, 1.
Peace.